Hello, hello, I'm the official name raider. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today we're looking at Ralts, Kirlia, and Gardevoir. Gallade will get its own episode later, and the thought just occurred to me, maybe I should have saved this song for Gallade, but it's a Gen 3 song, so it's going to Gardevoir. Okay, so this is actually really weird. I did a randomizer, I think it was Gen 4 or 5, and I got a Gardevoir. I looked up nicknames for Gardevoir. I couldn't find anything. Like, period. This didn't exist. This wasn't around. So, I decided, because I couldn't find a single passable, usable nickname for Gardevoir, I was going to make fun of the Pokemon community and name it Rule 34. I definitely remember people showing up to my stream and then laughing at that and being like, you named it that, that's funny. So I don't know if that joke caught on, but this did not exist. And I only did that randomizer like maybe a year ago. Yeah, it would have been 2019. So this is new. And that was what I used. Other words, I'm going to do a quick little scroll through because to me, none of them are interesting. They're all kind of similar. I understand how someone could find it appealing or whatever, but the only one I really kind of wanted to acknowledge was just Hylia, because, I mean, outside of naming it Zelda, because we get it, everyone's going to understand what Zelda is, I think Hylia sounds better personally, and I like the idea of that, but other words, there's a lot of stuff on here. If you want to look through it on your own, it's fine, but you could look through whatever anytime you want. But I find most of the nicknames on here boring, but I did want to highlight at least Hylia. And I guess Palutena, though I'm not sure, because Gardevoir is not meant to be a goddess. It's being compared to goddesses. I'm assuming it's just because it has green hair and that's it, but I don't know. I like, on a scale of which I like more, I like Palutena more than I like Gardevoir. I'm going to acknowledge Lady Gaga. I don't really care for it as a nickname, but I feel like we've seen something comparable to this in the past, but I can't quite remember what it is. I just feel like there was, and I know it's not Shakira, because I know that was for Ludicolo, but it was something like either in Kanto or Johto, where someone maybe Nicki Minaj for Jinx? I don't know. I feel like that's still not it, but I don't know. There was something comparable to this, and I'm just going to acknowledge it because I feel like it's something we've acknowledged in the past. Also, real quick, because I just noticed, July 9th, 2020. This definitely did not exist when I did my randomizer. I think the reason Palutena bothered me is probably the same reason Amy Lee bothers me. Because, like Palutena, Amy Lee is attractive. And I feel like it's doing an injustice to compare it to Gardevoir. I'll acknowledge Kumatora for the sake of it. I don't think it's bad. I just personally wouldn't use it because I'm not huge into Mother, but I know about it, but I don't really have anything bad to say, I wouldn't do it, that's all. Okay, so we've seen Serenity maybe 5 times already, and I haven't acknowledged it because Serenity is just kind of a real name for people in the real world, but it also, I know it's trying to be Bayonetta Binding of Isaac style as well. Harmony fits this as well. I didn't acknowledge Serenity because that's still just a person's name, you know? Harmony is less of that, so there's that, but there's a lot going on here. Compassion works on the same level of Harmony, acknowledging it for that, not too much extra to add. I've also seen Waifu several times as well, and I've chose to ignore it because I feel like it's not interesting and it feels like it's super cliched, but because it's been said already several times, I'm acknowledging it. Do I think it's interesting? No. Do I care? No. But I could see how someone might find the joke entertaining or whatever. Okay. Just to acknowledge, this was posted 6 years ago, so I'd have to look back at my own stream to see what I was thinking, but I'm pretty sure I came up with it myself, so maybe I didn't see this result or something, but it's been done before. It's not my own original creation, but I'm pretty sure I didn't take inspiration from somebody else. I was just mad that there was no nicknames and decided to mock the fan base. Okay, so I went ahead and I wanted to, fact check this first. I don't understand why his nicknames are based around singing. Even he doesn't acknowledge why his names are about singing. This kind of stuff is better for Meloetta or something like that. Like, there's zero influence, the Pokedex doesn't say it, the Origin doesn't say it, I don't know where the fuck he's pulling it from. Like, the inspiration I just read is mostly like along the lines of ballroom dancers and ballet. That's fine. That's not singing. So songster and vocals, like, they have nothing to do with fucking anything. So it can learn Hyper Voice. That's great, so can a lot of Pokemon. Godmother, I've seen this a few times. It's not bad, I just don't fucking care. There's just so many nicknames that I see that are just, like, not interesting to me, or are, like, overly feminine, or gods, and it's just, it's just not my style. Like, I would recommend, if this video didn't help you, and you have, like, 30 minutes to spare, look this stuff up yourself, and maybe you'll find something better, because there's nothing that appeals to me, and there's nothing that I think is worth talking about. And Death Song, it fits the what the fuck does this have to do with vocals thing. Absolutely nothing. It's not a singing Pokemon. It's more like a dancing Pokemon that doesn't actually specialize in dancing. But, whatever. Okay, we've reached the bottom. There's a lot of suggestions, don't get me wrong. There is a lot of stuff to read if you want to read through it all. I just don't find any of it appealing in the slightest, so it's just me. I don't understand, but yet again, we have nothing on the spreadsheet here as well. I said that I used Rule 34 in the past. That was just a frustrated last resort idea because I just wanted to name it something, but I don't know if I'd really recommend that. Like, it's fine, but I don't particularly think it's that great. There was one I saw in a previous episode, which I wrote down for later, which someone put down as Virgo. And that one I actually really like. I think that one's kind of cool, and I like the idea of basing it off of other constellations outside of just Tauros. And we've already seen that Aquarius is perfect for Starmie, so I think Virgo could kind of fit Gardevoir and its demeanor, despite what the internet draws. I also remember getting one in a Wonder Trade once, and it was named Android 17. At the time, I didn't know what the fuck that was, but after spending enough time around nerds and the internet, I've learned that that's like supposed to be a Dragon Ball Z reference or something. So if you think that fits, sure. I don't know who that is, but I know there's a blonde girl called Android something, so there's another option for you. But other words, like, it's mostly just gods and then like insanely feminine sounding things, and there's nothing wrong with a feminine sounding name, but like, it feels like an obnoxious point to it to where that bothers me. I was also thinking while just looking through this, like, about generic psychic type nicknames, if you can find one that you think will fit. I have one written down that's just Clever Girl, because I just think that's kind of funny, so I think if you want to do Clever Girl, that would be pretty fitting, since I imagine most people are going to have either a female Gardevoir or just dismiss the gender entirely because it's a very feminine Pokemon. Otherwise, or you could also do Wise Guy, because that's like the male counterpart. Wise Guy, Clever Girl. There you go. Otherwise, if you have any suggestions for Gardevoir, whether I like it or not, it doesn't matter. It's not entirely about me. This is just me going through and explaining my tastes while also cutting out the repetition for you guys. But any suggestions or ideas you have for Gardevoir, whatever you've used on your own, feel free to put it in the comments down below. Give a thumbs up to the ones that you think are good, and hopefully this video has helped you in some way. If it hasn't, I would recommend just looking this up yourself, because you're probably going to find a lot of stuff that I didn't talk about because I just didn't think it was any good.